chance to make it 28-3. Arthur Blank loving it, up by 25. Toss to White. He's in! What a comeback!
All right, welcome to the 28-3 podcast. My name is Max. I'm here with Nick and Corey. Today we're going to do a special episode. We are going to build a optimum starting lineup for the Saints to win a Super Bowl. But here's the catch. We're going all time. We're going to pick from a pool of the all-time Saints players ever. And we're going to go position by position. And we'll start off with quarterback, and I think I'll let Nick do the honors on this one. I think this one's pretty straightforward, but we'll let him go ahead and say who the starter is.
Before we get into it, though, what is our lineup? What are our rules here?
So the rules are going to be, we're going to go one quarterback, two running backs, one fullback, three wide receivers, two tackles, two guards, one center, two defensive ends.
Tight end.
Two defensive tackles, one tight end. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. Four linebackers, two corners, two safeties, one kicker, one punter, one kick returner, one punt returner.
And if you're listening at home, if you can play that back without listening to this again,
congratulations.
You get nothing.
Yeah, that was tough, man. I'm surprised I was able to get it off.
That was pretty good off the top of your head.
Nick, start us off with quarterback.
Can confirm. No notes.
I'm pretty sure this one's going to be unanimous, but we'll let him say it.
Yeah, it's the only Hall of Famer we've ever had at quarterback. So Drew Brees is a guarantee.
Sure.
I thought you were going to say Aaron Brooks, but we'll go with Drew Brees. So Drew Brees is the answer. So Corey, we'll pivot to you for running back. What you got?
Okay. So, at the risk of being a prisoner of the moment, and but look, this guy's so fucking good. I have to go with Alvin. As not necessarily the most obvious choice. Not saying he's number one, but he's just kind of
He's number one.
He does so many good things, and I think I take from things we heard from a lot of veterans. We had Roman on a few episodes ago about the importance of winning a Super Bowl, and obviously Alvin was not on the Super Bowl team. He got close with the NFC fucking no call. Let's not even go there. But he's the best to me.
Who's your number two?
Number two, look, there's a lot of variety in Saints running backs beyond Alvin. And we're now when we're talking about who we're picking, we're saying like in the prime of their capabilities.
This is apex mountain of their career. This is to win a Super Bowl. We're trying to construct the perfect Saints roster.
Okay, because that's
kind of easy.
That's kind of a necessary qualification for running backs, and we've talked about this before. I know y'all think it's easy, but okay, I'm going with Deuce.
I think it's easy,
and I know that should be the easy answer, but I think I just have him ahead of Pierre Thomas catching every screen pass. He helped us win a Super Bowl. We would not have won Super Bowls without Pierre Thomas or Reggie, but at the peak of his powers, Deuce McAllister was just get the fuck out of my way.
Man, I'll say
it was so good.
If there's a third running back spot, Pierre probably gets it just from a standpoint of being able to take that screen pass.
Problem for Pierre is he was a niche player.
Yeah.
Deuce was a legitimate top 5 running
Deuce
back in the league.
Deuce was all pro, man, in his prime.
Yeah, he was all pro. He had 1,600-yard season, 15-plus touchdowns.
What do you have, 9 100 rushing yard games in a row?
Yeah.
That 1 year?
Yeah, his 1 year in his prime was unbelievable. We have George Rogers with a 1,800-yard year with us. We had Reuben Mays and Dalton Hilliard with multiple 1,000-yard rushing seasons. We've had great running backs. We just haven't had running backs that have hung around for a really long time. That's been Mark Ingram. We didn't even mention that, and he's the leading rusher in Saints history. So we've always had a good, running back, but I think Alvin is a different level. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler, multi-year All-Pro. He's going to have the touchdown record for the Saints. He'll probably have every yardage record for the Saints when he's done, assuming he sticks around for a couple more years.
Assuming Loomis doesn't do Darren Sproles things with him.
Well, think about the formation standpoint.
If
you got Kamara and Deuce in the backfield, the two of them are equally adept at receiving as they are running. So that is almost an impossible ask for a defense to defend.
And let's also remember that Deuce
was an animal. My God.
At the time that he played, it's easy for us to forget now because running backs catch the ball so much out of the backfield, but he was ahead of his time with being the size that he was, the height. Deuce was a tall running back.
He was a big
It is
boy.
not easy to be a running back.
Don't
The height
forget,
that
we
he was.
drafted him when we had Ricky Williams.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That, I mean,
Everyone laughs at Reggie.
and Ricky's
being,
another running
Hey.
back who was really good as a Saint.
Everyone talks about Reggie doing the deuces when we drafted Alvin, but if I think it was Alvin, but if Twitter existed when we drafted Deuce, Ricky Williams would have been like
No, Reggie did it for Ingram.
Ingram. That's right.
Right.
I
Yeah. He
jumped
was
a- I
long
jumped
gone
a step,
before
jumped
coming
a
out.
Man, I'll say this though.
step.
Deuce was an absolute freak of nature coming out of Ole Miss. I think he was 6'1" and some change at the combine, about
230
220
plus.
pounds, and he ran like a 4.38, 4.4.
No, 4.38. I know he's
his
fast,
size,
but
he was fast as hell, man.
At 230?
And he got up to about 230, 235
Yeah.
with the Saints.
he was. The one thing I remember about Deuce is that he ran so deceptively. It looked like
he was a Clydesdale. He looked
it
like he
looked
was
like his
running in
legs
slow
were
motion, but he was
hardly moving, but he was beating.
It's a shame he had all the injuries he
Yeah,
had because he was a NFL Hall of Famer talent that just too many injuries. He still had
Yeah.
over 6,000 rushing yards. I think he had 50 plus touchdowns.
Yeah.
His career was still really good, but it would have been all time good.
without injuries, he's the best running back in Saints history.
And I don't want to discount Reggie because of Reggie's the one
Expectations.
player who changed the narrative for the Saints.
Yeah.
It wasn't even Drew that year when he got signed. When Reggie got drafted, the stadium sold out.
Yeah.
The fans went crazy. Everyone bought in on the Saints, and the Breeze, Reggie, Peyton era started, and that's what we lived for 15 years,
Yeah.
where we were top of the league almost every year. We had some down years, but like we were always competitive for that 15 years. And I don't want to discount what he did for the fans coming out of Katrina and all that. It was more Reggie than it was Breeze. And I
Agreed.
think Breeze gets all the credit for that, but the hype behind Reggie was so big. We immediately sold out season tickets the day of the draft. People were lined up on Airline Highway.
Yeah, man, I've never been so excited for a draft pick. I think I spent that entire time period after the draft in April, late April, early May, from pretty much then until training camp. I did nothing but watch Reggie Bush highlight videos.
I mean, how could you not? It was like he was ours. He was like the best Christmas gift under the tree.
Oh my god!
We couldn't
time.
believe he wasn't picked first. He came to
look,
Mario Williams got picked, and we
if
got
we're
Reggie.
being honest, I was nervous as shit that we still weren't going to draft him.
They
I
were
was
talking
waiting for
about
the
AJ
Saints.
Hawk,
Yeah,
which
I was
is
waiting for the
crazy.
Saints to do Saints things and be like, yeah, you know what, Texans, we have questions too, or trade back or do something.
And look, he
You
did
know-
not live up to the number 2 pick
No,
in the
he
draft
didn't.
at all.
Well,
But he
it was an impossible ask. It was an
He
impossible
transformed the Saints franchise. There's no question about it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think whether he lived up in full is a topic for probably 2 whole episodes. But I will say, I think what helped the notion that you're talking about, Nick, is that he had enough games in his rookie year. I mean, granted, he had some duds in his rookie year, but we saw him as an NFL rookie do things to NFL defenses that he did to Fresno State. At times. Not every game, but there were moments, there were flashes where
I remember that
he did
NFC
the thing we
Championship
thought
game
he was going to do.
against the
This
Bears?
against the Bears, where he catches
Ex-
that wheel route.
Exhibit
88
A.
yards.
Exhibit A.
And I thought we won that. I'm like, we're going to win this game.
Well, we were
I thought
going
so.
nuts.
I mean, when he was waving bye-bye to Brian Urlacher, it's like, whoa.
Nick,
good
how
luck.
nuts were we going? In River Ridge.
I thought we had it. I really did. And had
Yeah.
we gone to that Super Bowl, I think they played Peyton. That was his first Super Bowl victory after that. And the Bears weren't a good enough team to even compete in that game, really.
That was
Rex Grossman. Yeah.
Devin Hester, though.
He ran back the opening
opening
kickoff, and then they
kickoff.
got blown out the building.
When you're a Super Bowl team and your best player is the punt returner,
Well, they were injured. They had
To
lost
be
so
fair,
many
the best
starters.
kick/punt returner
Ever.
in NFL
the best
history.
ever, sure.
But
An
they had
argument
lost so
to
many
be
starters where going into the Super Bowl, they had no chance. We would have had a much better chance of at least competing in that. And I really thought we were going to win that game in the weather, and we just faded in the fourth quarter.
All right. So let's reset. We're on running backs. I've got Deuce Kamara. You've got
Deuce and Kamara.
Deuce Kamara. Nick, you've got.
I don't think it's close. It's Deuce.
Yeah, it's not close. It's not
All right.
close.
So I think we have one position between running back and wide receiver.
That would
be
be. So we'll defer to you. What you got?
We call this the Corey position.
Al Bundy. I mean, I did play that position in high school, which is incredibly important to this podcast. But look, it's Lorenzo Neal. It just is. I think
I'm with you on that.
Saints.
No, Lorenzo Neal, animal, absolute animal. And
in terms
his
of
time
what
with
a
the Saints was short.
In terms of what a fullback
I think that's the one knock against him.
Truly does. He's the guy.
No, but the one knock is his time here was like 3 years.
His time here was short, and so that
being said, every other fullback in Saints history that was a good one was only like 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, like John Kuhn,
Mike Carney
came from Green Bay, or like Heath Evans
Evans.
Heath Evans had a good run. Mike Carney
Terrell
had a good
Smith.
run. Terrell Smith had a good run.
Oh yeah, Terrell Smith. Yeah, he was.
Terrell
awesome.
Smith was a beast.
I
Dude.
think if you're just framing it as a Saint,
They were all number 44 too. Crazy enough.
that's a good number.
Evans, Smith, Carney.
And the Super Bowl that we won was
McCluskey. Yeah,
Was
not
a
a fullback,
44.
but
But as a Saint, that wasn't his best years. Obviously, his best years were blocking for LaDainian
Chargers,
Tomlinson and being an All-Pro, All-Decade team player. But yeah, I agree. We haven't had a long
there's no long
tenured fullback here
Yeah.
that you could say Lorenzo Neal was the best fullback.
Bro, it's all
while in the
shooting stars. Like these guys that they shone bright for 2 or 3 seasons, and that was it.
Well, and sadly for me personally, given my time as a fullback between the years of 2001 and 2004.
Wait, you play fullback?
At Jesuit High School, yes.
What
Varsity.
number?
31.
Chris Banjo? Who else was 31?
Well, Banjo was 31 for a minute. I think our new draft pick's 31.
George Howden.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That said,
he's probably the best. But
I
he
don't
only
think we're going to see another.
Did he play 3
the
or 4
fullback,
years?
I know we carry one. I know Carmichael likes it. I know Peyton always loves the fullback.
Right now, our fullback's Adam Prentice. He probably doesn't make the team.
I mean, well, we're going to keep a fullback. I don't think Carmichael lives.
Man.
Do you keep a fullback with Jamal Williams? That's the question. Because
Yes.
you've got a thumper.
Because I don't think
he played with Aaron Jones in a fullback role multiple times.
Yeah, I don't think
in
he needs a
Green
fullback.
Bay. I'm not saying he's a true fullback. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying he is either, but I'm saying that
Well, that's a different topic.
if Carmichael truly is the Peyton successor,
he's keeping a fullback.
there will be a fullback.
I think that's fair.
But
let's stay on task.
my point is,
Yeah.
Back to it. I think your debate.
long done are the days of where any fullback stays on any team for more than a year or two. Those days are done. They
The
just are.
debate for the Saints' all-time fullback is, I think, between Carney and Lorenzo. Lorenzo, if you look at their career in total, is a far better player than Carney. But Carney, while he was a Saint with Breeze and the stuff they would do with him, he was a very good player for 3 or 4 years here.
Yeah, the
But
Saints.
Lorenzo
Man,
Neal
I'm
is
going
the best
Carney
player.
for the era. Super Bowl era. I'm going Carney.
Yeah, because the Saint career versus NFL career is a whole different topic.
Yeah, it's a whole
Correct.
different topic.
Correct.
Carney
I've made
did
my thoughts-
nothing after he left the Saints.
I've made my thoughts clear
Right.
on Lorenzo on his NFL career. To y'all off air. Like that.
Okay,
is-
my vote.
I put
Carney.
him
I'm
way
going
up there.
Carney.
Lorenzo had the best career as a football player. As a Saint, I think there's a big case to be
Carney.
made for Mike Carney
Yeah.
as a Saint.
Yeah, agree.
I'm gonna go with Lorenzo, but I agree with y'all on Carney. He's hard to. It's a tough call, but I got to go true fullback. Lorenzo.
All right, cool. Let's move on to wide receiver. This one, I think there's a few obvious.
I'm gonna let y'all go first because
I'll go first.
I think
Just
it's
to
pretty
refresh,
easy.
are we going with 2 or 3 on this?
We're going
Three.
three. We're going
Three.
three.
I think
I'll
it's
go first.
easy.
Joe Horn, absolutely.
That's a good one.
Is one of them. I'm going to go Marcus Colston. And then I'm going to say, on the strength of the start of his career, we're going to go Michael Thomas. I'm going with those 3.
Okay. I'm definitely with you on 2 of those. That being
Who's the one you're not with me on?
Joe Horn.
Oh, man. That's tough.
And it is tough because...
To me, Joe's the slam dunk of the three.
No.
I think Marcus is a slam dunk of the three.
Marcus has the best stats as a Saint.
And he's got...
Yeah, but I never felt like Marcus was as good as Michael Thomas in his prime or Joe Horn is.
Well,
But let's
because
be
that's
clear.
the nature of his game.
He never made a Pro Bowl.
And remember, we're going off Apex Mountain here. We're going off the peak of their powers. And at the peak of their powers, I don't think Colson was as good as either of those two.
He was...
Michael Thomas, by far, peak of powers is the best one.
I think wide receiver is a position where you can have the most variety of skills, the most variety of strengths, and...
But just remember, parameters. Peak of their powers.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Like, imagine them
He
at their
still
best.
makes it.
But that's what I'm
He
saying.
still
Like,
makes it.
peak of
Well,
powers,
in
like...
three, yeah. In the three receiver
The
set,
peak
yeah.
of powers...
He's still the all-time touchdown leader, correct? For the Saints?
Yeah, but that's more of like...
We're talking peak power Saints, right?
Like...
But peak as in best individual...
Season,
like, at their apex. Like, their best season.
In their prime.
Who was the most dynamic? It wasn't Colson.
But here's... well,
Colson's
I'm not
best
saying he's
season
best. I'm not saying-
is
not as
is
good as
for
Joe
sure
Horn's.
top three, no question.
It's
about
not as good as Joe Horn's or Michael Thomas's.
No, Michael Thomas is, to me,
Is the best
you
one
said
out of
it, you
Peak
said
of powers, Thomas is number one.
Yeah.
by a mile.
By a mile.
This
By a
isn't
mile.
close.
Joe Horn's
but-
second, dude. 1,400 yards?
Well,
in the late 90s?
Aaron
Early
Brooks...
2000s?
He had a great year. I agree. His peak year was probably the best year.
I'm pulling up Joe Horn's
Well,
stats.
let me
Colson had multiple 10 touchdown seasons,
Let me
multiple 1,200 yard seasons.
Let me regroup on this.
Are we sure?
Peak
I'm pretty sure.
Peak of powers.
We're gonna look. Hold on.
Regardless of stats, for me, it's what was that guy doing on the field
Okay, time out.
at the time?
Allow me to interrupt real quick. Colston, 1,200 yard seasons, how many?
2.
1. 1202.
So that's peak of powers.
Okay, so peak of powers is 98, 1202, 12.3 per catch, 11 touchdowns.
11
Double-digit touchdowns. How many times?
2.
2. Okay. So longevity, he has everybody beat. Easy.
How many 1,000-yard seasons? 7? 6? 6, 7?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6. That's huge.
No, that's big. And he had 200, 900 yard seasons.
Okay, so
Look, let's-
8 seasons over
Longevity,
900.
without question, he has everyone beat.
Yeah.
I'll make it simple here. I'm putting Colson on my list because when he was at the peak of his powers, if a ball was thrown anywhere around him, he ended up with it. And not by a struggle,
Most
not
of the
by
time.
some miraculous catch, but sure, most of the time. I mean, it wasn't a... Yeah, nothing's a 100%.
He had a
But here's what
couple
I'm saying.
crucial
But hear me
fumbles
out.
in his career.
But I'm talking about a pass catcher. Like, he had a way of framing his body. He was just so polished as a receiver that he just exuded confidence that if he ran the right route, he's getting... It was like a run play to him.
Okay,
almost.
that's fine. He's
Like, it's
the
like a
most consistent with the most longevity.
He gave you a 12-yard handoff every time he went out for a
Put
route.
time out. So we just said 1,200 yard season. So Joe Horn with the Saints, first season, 1,340, 8 touchdowns.
I remember that. He was
Second season,
came from KC, right?
1,265, 9.
for 5 years. Joe Horn was exceptional.
Third season, 1,312, 7. Next season, 973, 10. Next season, 1,399, 11. For that 5-year period, Joe Horn was better than anything Colston put up.
Agree,
Sure,
except we weren't
st-
a winning team for the most
Statistically,
part.
sure. Yes.
We won the first ever playoff game one of his years.
We did. And then
But we were
his
throwing that rock all
otherwise
over
it
the
was
place.
pretty bad.
Okay, but I think it's pretty inarguable that those are the 3 top guys. If you're picking 3, those are the 3.
But you got to at least consider Eric Martin.
That
for
was,
that.
You
that
do
was
have
you
to.
took the words out of my mouth.
But
I don't know that I put
I put him 4.
Eric Martin obviously does not supersede Joe Horn statistically. But in terms of
But it's a
the
different era,
importance
too.
of a football player
Yeah.
in his era, you know, without Eric Martin, we're not even sniffing the playoffs with Bobby Hebert.
Eric Martin was that, because like you said, we were a
bailout.
run heavy, defense heavy, dome patrol. This was 3rd down and 7. Eric Martin working underneath like that was an incredible player.
To
Yeah.
me, he's the clear-cut number 4, but he had over 70 catches only once in his career.
But it's a different era.
But yeah,
I understand that, and we grew up in that era.
like
But
Jim
at the same
Mora
point, he's
could
the number
not have-
4.
And like his time there was always 3rd and 6. You remember?
I know.
It was awful.
But Nick, you're
This
not
is-
putting him over the other 3.
This is a terrible take, but I mean, it comes to mind like I don't even know if Jerry Rice could have 100 receptions under Jim Mora.
Stop. Stop.
He probably wouldn't have had, but he still would have
Stop.
fucking dominated.
Stop. I'm gonna leave this one alone. This low hanging fruit. I'm not gonna say a fucking
Okay,
word.
he would no.
Let's
he,
be clear. In the 80s, no one had 100
Listen,
catches.
he would
Nobody.
He would have, but
Understood.
Nobody.
But people had 60, 70, 80.
he would have.
80 was the thing.
Okay,
Go look up Jerry Rice in the 80s. I bet you his catches are around 80.
Yeah, like 14,
Okay.
15.
14, 50. Yeah, like 17 a catch. Yeah, I get it. But
Okay, Jerry
Look,
Rice.
to me, Eric Martin is a clear cut number 4 on the list. I can't put him ahead of the other ones. I don't care what
I could
the
put him
era
ahead of
is,
Joe
I
Horn.
can't.
I could put him ahead of Joe Horn.
No shot. Joe Horn, we signed him from Kansas City,
that was a steal.
and he went
Well, that was still.
bananas.
I agree.
Corey, he went bananas for 5 seasons.
He did. But we're talking peak of powers.
Yeah, Joe Horn.
His
Not even
peak of
close.
power.
We
His
don't
peak
have-
of
look, we don't-
powers
Hey, we don't
is
have to agree. I'm just saying.
His peak of powers
his
is
peak
higher.
of powers is bigger
It was
than
bad.
Eric Martin's
Badass.
peak of powers.
Yeah,
Eric Martin.
I love Eric
just
Martin.
the tough catches. Like I loved him
No,
because
I
like,
love him.
he made
So
the hardest catches.
That's
all
the thing.
time.
I give him the degree of difficulty factor that like the Olympics
Who
judges
has-
give.
Does
That's
Eric
fine.
Martin-
I'm taking Joe Horn over Eric Martin. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
in
You don't
their
have to be
best
sorry about it.
year, I'm
In their
in
best
agreement.
year, it's Horn.
Over a career, who had more yards in their career?
Horn.
By how?
It has to be
by how
Horn.
much?
Not much, but
I think the records
It's
that
close,
Colston,
bro.
whatever Colston broke was Horn's record.
Now
right?
remember, Horn did nothing for the first 3 years.
Right.
Nothing.
Well, he was like the deep ball guy.
He was
in Kansas
the
City.
number 4 in Kansas
Yeah,
City.
they completely misused him.
But
What
like
was it?
Colston
Completely
ended up his career around 9,500. I think Eric Martin made it over 8,000. What did Horn finish with?
Let's see.
a lot.
I want to say Eric Martin had close to 50 touchdowns because he had the touchdown record for the Saints for years.
Okay, Eric Martin had 81, 61, 49 touchdowns.
49. There you go. And that was a record for a long time for the Saints.
Wait, career. as
Joe
in the same-
Horn had 87, 44, 58 touchdowns. So
58.
right around the same.
Different era. Okay.
Different era, that's fine.
Yeah.
But remember, Joe Horn did nothing for his first basically 4 years.
True.
Right.
That's
right.
not a benefit though.
So all right.
Yeah, but I mean, he was misused.
So let's bring it back home. 3 is Thomas. Number 2 is
no, Thomas is 1.
No, Thomas is 1.
Clear
That's what I'm
cut
saying.
number 1.
Clear cut
For
number
me,
1.
Colston is clear cut 2.
okay.
I'm going Thomas, Horn, Colston, Martin. We'll throw out the bonus 4th on this one.
Okay.
I think having Horn above Colston is crazy. Colston was involved in like great teams.
I think Breeze made Colston more than
Maybe that.
Horn
that-
had nobody.
That might be true.
Hey, takes 2 to 10.
Breeze made Colston more
but
than
we had a team who was just chucking the ball all over the field with Horn too. Like we didn't give a damn.
Aaron
we weren't
Brooks-
about. We weren't about
Pretty
winning.
sure I saw Aaron Brooks close his eyes and throw it
AB,
once or twice.
Breeze, like I'm bumping Horn up a little bit.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I'm going Thomas 1, Colston 2. Yeah, my third's Eric Martin.
I'm gonna stick with Horn, but I think that's much closer than people.
No,
think.
it's close. It is close.
Eric
But
Martin
I
was
think
a
if we're going
Horn-
4,
Horn will
if
be
we're
my
going
special-
4, the consensus top 4 is pretty.
Yeah, if
pretty,
they're running
clear-cut.
shotgun cowboy, yeah,
Yeah,
I'll throw
it's pretty
Horn
clear.
4.
in
All
the
right.
'80s. Eric Martin was a legit. He made a Pro Bowl too, I believe.
He did.
Yeah.
Horn made multiple, I think.
Sure.
Thomas has been multiple All-Pro, obviously Offensive Player of the
Thomas
Year.
at his
That's,
peak
That's
is
a
the best.
step above.
Yeah.
Everybody else.
The book is
Colston
yet-
never
yeah.
made a Pro Bowl, never made an All-Pro.
That's criminal. But all right, so what's the next position on our
Tight
list?
end. So this one's going to be fun. Corey,
It's not.
you start us off. No. I want to hear what he says first. This is fun.
Oh man,
It's
All right.
easy.
All right,
It's
the
honestly easy.
It's the easiest
It's the
position
easiest
on the
one
team.
we have. Let's see if he.
y'all
let's
say
see-
that. Y'all say that.
Let's see if he gets it.
John Tice.
He doesn't know who John Tice
They-
is. Come on.
Yeah, no, he played for us before he coached. the
Ernie
Vikings.
Comwell.
Who was the one? I was a big fan of David Thomas.
All right, come on.
You did like David
You do
Thomas.
like David Thomas. I know.
Love of David Thomas. I mean, wouldn't have won the Super Bowl without him. Shout out David Thomas. God damn it,
This is low hanging fruit, bro.
I want to go with Jimmy.
It's
Well, you
Jimmy.
have to. It's not even close.
Now, honorable mention to Jeremy Shockey,
Yeah.
because if you are talking apex I think there's an argument to be made what Shockey did versus
That's
Graham
what I'm saying.
did.
Like, because we're talking Apex, like
Shockey could block his ass off, and that dude could catch the ball like nobody else. He could run after the. He could do literally everything.
No, agreed.
Like he blocked out like Shaq on a football field.
But let's keep in mind, Jimmy Graham and Rob Gronkowski were going back and forth. That
was historic.
We
are talking stats, but we all watched Jimmy. And we know Jimmy wasn't Rob Gronkowski. We all know
Jimmy
that.
couldn't
block. Gronk is the greatest ever.
Yeah.
Because that's what when I think of tight ends, I think of guys that can do all of it. And Jimmy
Gronk, the greatest.
I look at it like we had 6 years with Jimmy and 4 years at an elite level. Shockey was 2 years at an elite level. Shockey's a more balanced tight end.
That's what I'm saying. Like he did both.
Without question.
He held up edge blocks. Yeah. That Jimmy could never even sniff.
But again, if you're trying to win a Super Bowl, which one are you taking?
I'm taking Jeremy.
Are you really?
Shockey.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
To win the Super Bowl, I'm taking Jeremy because Jimmy.
So that's my answer. Shockey.
So
I'm
deficient.
saying Jimmy, but it's close.
So deficient in the run game that Jimmy was on losing teams with us.
Fuck, dude, this one's tough.
It is.
This one's tough.
That's why, you're opening up like you go first. It's low-hanging fruit. You got it, dude. But
again,
it's tough.
No.
I think with the Saints,
good points.
I think with the Saints, Jeremy only had 2 seasons where I feel like he was that guy.
Yeah,
we got him at the exact right time.
Yeah,
because I think there's an argument to be made that if he doesn't have the years he had under what was it, Cowler, in New York,
yeah,
not Cowler,
Tom
Coughlin,
yeah.
If he didn't have because he fucking hated that guy. So if he didn't have that, where he was like, I saw the bad, I saw where I was. He was the sexy draft pick out of Miami and New York. If he didn't have that bad experience, where everyone just said, "You're a bad dude just because you're a bad dude."
Yeah,
because you party. Let's be honest.
He had tattoos and played for the Giants, so he was labeled a bad dude. He comes to us and finds an offense where he can just go ham. He does, but he also blocks. So
it's tough.
I mean, we had him at the right
time.
time.
He's a better overall player.
Yeah,
I'm going Jimmy just for the extra.
We're to the
Jimmy's peak was hard to argue with, though.
It's hard, dude.
Do you want a true tight end or do you want a Kelsey?
I'm going to tell you right now, if Jimmy played his whole career in New Orleans, he might be the greatest tight end ever, stats wise.
Receiving stats wise.
Which is what gets the attention.
The problem is he had to be a little bitch and try to be a wide receiver with his contract negotiation.
Yeah, he got keyed. I think the agent.
Yeah, the agent.
We dumped him. Let's be honest. We got rid of him. We paid him too much. We realized it, and we got rid of him.
We got Max Unger.
That was the right move. We got Max Unger. We were a better team because of it.
We had a good year out of Max Unger.
Good couple of years.
He had 3. And he would.
Oh, I'm thinking of Cruz. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Cruz. Cruz showed up and
and he retired.
Cruz had nothing to do with that trade.
Yeah, that was Unger. But yeah.
We'll get to that later, but maybe the best center in Saints history, Unger, even though it was only 3 years, I think. But
I got others.
Jimmy's stats are the best. The best player at tight end for the Saints is Jeremy Shockey.
But if you're going the most dynamic player at their apex, God, fuck. If I had Breeze, give me.
Maybe so. But you're talking about roster construction, right? Then you just have to make a decision.
Well, here's the thing. I always say, I've talked about this before when I'm like, when I give you the insanely hot take of I don't know what I think about Caleb Williams. And the reason for that is that NFL quarterbacks, and Breeze proved it, we all witnessed it, they get the ball out quick. That's why so many unknown college QBs from D2 exceed in the NFL, because they have a strong arm and they're accurate and they can figure out how to get the ball out in less than 2.5 seconds. They win or they succeed. And Jimmy Graham helped you do that.
I'm going to put it this way.
And so that's why it's hard to not pick him.
I agree, but I disagree.
He helps you get the ball out quick.
Jimmy Graham needed a great quarterback.
Yeah, agreed.
Jeremy Shocker could make a difference regardless.
But
Jimmy Graham left. Jimmy Graham was never the guy.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah,
but the combination of Breeze, which we already established as our quarterback, with Graham, to me, I mean, man, that's tough. Well,
but the Breeze team to win the championship had Jeremy Shockey.
I'll say this. I mean, what pass catcher, regardless of position, running back, wide receiver, tight end, that left the throwing arm of Drew Brees, maybe besides Reggie,
none of them
did have a good career.
Yeah, none of them. No one equaled what they did here.
You can't name
No.
I mean, you can go
Under
Lance
Breeze
Moore,
with Breeze. No.
Jimmy,
Yeah, no one
Willie
equaled
Snead. I mean,
But that
all
was
of them.
that was the Loomis philosophy: give him nothing and let him make everybody better, and then try and support the roster everywhere else with all the money.
So, like, without taking this,
Hey,
That's
without
what we
the
did.
NFL fucking us, it works.
without
Maybe,
taking this being a Drew
except
Brees
we paid some
podcast,
people that we shouldn't have.
that shows you even more the greatness of Breeze.
Yeah.
Because like any receiver that left us became nothing.
I think.
So anyway,
Let's
we've
move on
hit-
to the offensive line.
Yeah, we've
so
hit
let's
wide
go
receiver.
offensive tackle.
Wait, let's go tight end. Well, we
did
finished
tight end.
we
tight
did
end.
tight end.
Let's go
Shockey
offensive
for
tackle.
me.
So wait, we didn't finish it. You're going Graham.
I'm going Graham. Y'all are going Shockey.
I'm going to go, if we're building a roster, if we're talking about building the best Saints team to win a Super Bowl, I'm going Shockey.
Okay. No, that's fair. It's a close argument. All right. Offensive tackle. I think number one is easy.
Yeah, no
Willie
one can
Roaf.
debate it's Willie Roaf.
It's not even close. Number two. This one's tough.
It's not.
I think I know what you're going to say.
Apex?
Yeah.
It's not close.
You going Ram?
No.
Going Teron.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
Apex. Apex is
Yeah,
to
you're
run.
right. You're right. You're
Going
right.
Teron. If we had Roaf and Teron on the same
Oh,
roster,
my God. That's the two
Get the
most
fuck out.
athletic tackles
Like,
ever.
I
Get
love
out.
Ramchek, but at the peak, it's Tehran. Now,
Yeah.
Tehran has injury concerns. Who's been the better player? You can make a case for Ramchek.
Okay, no, you're right. You're right. That's
But
it.
I
That's
think
the
it's
answer.
Tehran.
It's Roaf and Armstead, if healthy, Apex Mountain. That's it.
that guard, we might have more debate.
You want to go guard? Okay, I've got Carl Nix.
Yeah, this
for
one's
fucking
easy, too.
Apex.
for
This
me.
one's easy. And Jari Evans.
Jari is a Hall of Famer.
It's easy.
No doubt about it.
Jari.
So
Carl
now
Nix and Jari Evans.
you're debating Knicks and you're debating everybody else. You're
I
Carl
know, it kind
Nix
of is
was
Knicks.
an animal.
Because
I
And
agree.
he had a
Warford,
staph
there's Warford
infection.
and Grubbs. but,
Pause.
you
We're
know,
going Apex. It's definitely Knicks if you're going Apex.
And then
His career
Evans.
here was short.
Yeah.
4 years. And then you've got, but the other guys that are in competition is also short. It's Warford. It's,
Evans.
yeah.
Evans, bro. Evans he's a Hall of Famer.
Andrews Pete.
Get the fuck out of here. Evans is the Hall of Famer. We know this. You and I know this. We know
Jari's
his
a Hall of
cards.
Famer. Jari's out of the equation. It's
Yeah,
number
yeah,
one.
Jari's number one.
Number
Yeah.
two is what we're talking about.
I think Carl Nix.
His
Bro,
career,
his-
his career doesn't say that, but I
What
think
was
I
that
agree.
career that we were talking about?
But for
think I
that
agree.
peak, he was a fucking
Yeah.
he was a 340-pound animal.
He was like, get out of my way.
I loved him. I wish he wouldn't
You
have
get
left.
both.
We
You
couldn't
get- you
afford
get-
both of them. We made
Sometimes-
the right choice, by the
did, we
way.
did.
We picked Jari over Knicks. That was the right choice.
And he probably
Yeah.
got a staph infection and almost lost his leg.
Yeah. And well, that's what happens when you
All
go to
right.
Tampa.
So here's
Tampa,
the-
Florida. Staph infection.
The
So this one's tough.
top of the mountain.
Center?
O-line. Center.
Center.
For me, it's not.
I think we're going to have 3 different answers.
This one's tough, dude. What you got, Nick?
It's Unger.
No one wants
for
to say
me.
it. If it's
Max
obvious,
Unger
you
for
say
me.
it.
Yeah, it's Max Unger for me. Those teams should have won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The Max Unger team should have won a Super Bowl.
Unger was kind of like a quarterback with the, like, before the
And
quarterback got the
Breeze,
ball.
instantly it worked. It was so good. Like, we were instantly better on the offensive line when he got here. When we made that trade, the team got better.
Who do you know that's friends with him? Y'all got to know him, right?
Yeah, he was. I don't remember. He was one of his kids was in. One
He
of
was
my
a man
kids'
about
class.
town, though. Like, I remember seeing him out.
Well, no,
like,
he and Mary, I think it would. they
Yeah,
had
Mary
dinner
and
with
his
him.
wife.
But
were-
Unger
were
would go
buddies.
to Fat Harry's, like, just to hang out a couple times. I remember.
I don't know.
I wasn't there when he did it, but I just remember, like, he was.
He quit
He was, like,
abruptly at
a
a very young age too.
But he was a
was
very
31.
social. I think
You're right. It's Unger.
he was a social
Now that I
dude.
think about it. Hilgenberg
I mean-
was the only one I could come up with.
The only one I'm going. Hilgenberg was a great Saint. The only one I'm debating, honestly, is McCoy. I think McCoy.
I think
Well-
McCoy ends up being the best one.
Okay, but if we're talking peak of powers,
but we're.
I keep
peak of
going
powers
back-
is Unger.
I
You
Jeff
got something
Fain.
different? No. Red Eye Fain.
Jeff Fain? Get
Red
the
Eye
fuck out of
Fain?
here. No, and I'm going to tell you why.
Jeff Fain and LaCharles Bentley.
Time out. Corey.
Okay, that's a good one.
Okay.
What'd you say?
LaCharles
The two I-
Bentley
the
is a
two I
great
keep
one.
going back to.
Oh,
That's a
shit.
good one.
LaCharles Bentley.
Oh,
and Jeff
LaCharles.
Fain.
We love
LaCharles
LaCharles.
was the shit.
We love LaCharles.
I just remember Fain being mean, but LaCharles just did everything right.
So time out. Let's rewind back to Bella Luna circa
I love LaCharles, man.
2002, 2003.
badass.
LaCharles came in and staged in the kitchen
Yeah.
with Horst.
He did.
Because he was interested in being a
Yeah.
chef down the road.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We met him.
Okay.
Cool as fuck.
Good see it.
Badass player. First of all, Ohio State.
Ohio State.
Before Ohio State was our farm team.
Yeah, maybe started
He was
the same.
second round pick center.
Yeah, second round pick. Dude, that's a low key good call for it.
I liked the
That is-
LaCharles
No,
pick. I love him.
LaCharles stands out to me because I mean I remember.
Fuck man, that's good. That's real good.
I think
He was still there when Turley was there.
Well, he started the
and
modern.
we were like, holy crap, we
Yeah.
got the meanest line on the planet.
oh, LaCharles is mean.
Nick, I might be changing my pick, dude. I love LaCharles.
It's tough. I think the best player when
To
it's all
me,
said and done.
LaCharles started
McCoy's the best one when
the
it's all said
modern
and
day idea of the Saints having a anchor at center.
Yeah.
Because before him, it was really kind of.
I love him.
God, Corey, thank you for bringing that up.
I'm just gonna say
That's
I'm
Can't
still
believe
I'm
y'all
gonna stick
forgot.
with
Yeah.
Unger. I'm gonna stick with Unger because I feel like those teams were that 3 year. I think it was 3 years were like some of the best Saints
yeah.
football ever.
It's true.
And he was a big part of it because that's the one thing we changed from those 7 and 9 teams with Graham. We flipped it. We traded for a center, got a first round pick.
We did, yeah, because Peyton hit a rut. People love to forget that.
Yeah.
But, like Peyton hit a Jeff Fisher style rut.
3 straight years, right? 7 and 9. We were. One of them wasn't him.
One
of
wasn't
them.
him, but like it was kind of like borderline inexcusable.
And that
considering-
trade is what flipped.
Yeah,
Flip
and you
the
know what?
script.
Nick's right. If we're going the peak, it's Unger. But I think if we're projecting, it's going to be McCoy in the next 2 or 3 years.
And
Yeah.
LaCharles is a very close second.
I'm going to keep LaCharles.
Man,
for
I
me.
love LaCharles. I'm so glad Corey brought him up.
I can't believe y'all.
That was a good
But
one.
anyway. Yeah.
But I'm sticking with Unger because I really think that the team instantly flipped
No, that's fair. That's fair.
when we did that trade and got rid of Graham.
You're not
took on-
wrong. You're not wrong on that.
No, you're not. You're right. I think you're spot on with that. All right, let's move on to defense. Let's go defensive ends first. I think the first one's
Obvious.
an obvious, easy call. We're going to go ahead and say Cam Jordan.
Yeah.
And if anyone here says anything otherwise, they will kick the fuck off of this pod. The second choice is going to be tough.
So
Now, okay,
Time out.
we have
So
to
for
define
this,
defensive end.
For this argument, we're going to say Wayne Martin is going to qualify as a defensive end. We'll call him a defensive end for this argument.
and we're gonna say Ricky Jackson and Pat Swilling are outside linebackers.
They were linebackers.
Then it's
As
Wayne
per
Martin.
them all making all pro and the Pro Bowl at linebackers as the Dome Patrol, they were linebackers.
Then I don't think it's close. It's Cam and Wayne Martin
I agree.
if he's a defensive end.
Agree. Now I know Corey's thinking about Will Smith here.
I am thinking about Will Smith. Honorable mention, we'll go to Darren Howard, to be honest.
Darren Howard was solid, man.
Beacon Powers.
He-
Solid, but I
Big
can't.
powers.
You can't. Wayne Martin was a beast.
Wayne Martin was the man.
Ronaldo Turnbull.
I love Ronaldo Turnbull. Made all pro.
Yeah,
Great
but
player.
he was an outside linebacker. He took over for Swilling when we traded him.
He took over for
Yeah.
Swilling. Yeah, we traded him to Detroit. We drafted Ronaldo.
I guess
Turnbull.
him wearing 97.
But he could have played DN. He was big
He
enough.
could have, but
He was big
technically
But he wore
linebacker.
97, so it made you thought.
Yeah, but linebackers wear 97.
I love Turnbull. He had some great freaking years.
Love him too.
Like
but
Vista,
technically,
like Vista resident.
technically defensive end.
All right. Okay. So yeah, Cam won.
Let's go Cam and Wayne Martin. What you got? Nick and I are on the
I'm
same
going.
page.
Look, I'm going Will Smith. I mean,
Okay.
it.
I mean,
Peak of powers.
There's an argument
Fine.
there.
Super Bowl champ.
He was always a
I
threat.
get it.
He was always a threat to overpower the,
All right.
the tackle. So yeah.
Defensive tackle. I'm gonna throw out the first one.
It's an easy
Leroy
one.
Glover.
Yeah.
Peak of his powers.
Yeah.
It's not close. He's a borderline Hall of Famer. He never won Defensive Player of the Year, but he was
He
all
was
pro
so
with us.
good. So good.
And then he went to the Cowboys and had
Yeah.
16 sacks.
The Raiders too, right?
Yeah.
So the
He's had a great career.
so the second one's tough, dude. This
well,
one's,
when you put Wayne Martin in DE,
Yeah,
it
it makes
made
it
D
tough.
tackle very hard.
Frank.
You're like
Wilkes.
Jim Wilkes,
Jim Wilkes. That's what.
Norman
Frank
Hand.
Warren. is
Frank
what I'm thinking of.
Warren,
Yeah.
both of them, right? They're both DTs, right?
Yeah.
I'm not talking
Norman
about
Hand?
Norman Hand.
But that was short and he
Bro,
was
he was awesome.
He was
that year.
never great.
That's the Jim Haslett fucking playoff year.
Yeah, I'm not going with that, dude.
That front four got us where we got that year.
I would go on Yamada before I go Hand.
Oh no!
Wow.
No,
I would.
That's a
Norman
hot take.
Hand was Norman Hand. You're overrating Norman Hand. Norman Hand was just fat.
For what he was?
I loved him. He's a big fat guy, but
Well, the reality is when you if you put Wayne Martin at defensive end, that second defensive tackle is tough. It's tough, bro.
Because Wayne Martin is the second best defensive tackle for the Saints. Because he played
he's also
that
the second
often.
best defensive end.
Right.
So, okay, let's say this. If you put Wayne Martin at defensive tackle,
who's your other DE?
who's your other DE? Probably Will Smith.
Probably Will Smith.
Yeah.
I
Let's do
think
that. Let's call Wayne Martin defensive tackle.
Okay.
And we'll slot Will
and then we
Smith
can
in
slide in
defensive
Will
end.
Smith. Because Will Smith probably deserves that.
Yeah, he does.
Honorable mention,
Ronaldo.
Nah, but
he's outside linebacker.
linebacker.
Charles Grant for 2 years. Apex was
Chuck
really
Grant.
good.
Go Dogs.
For 2 years, Charles Grant was
fun, dude.
legit, and then he fell off a cliff. But he was a really good player.
He was.
Side story. He and I went to the game in Indianapolis, 2007 opening game. Ran into Charles Grant at Shake Shack.
No, Steak and Shake.
Steak and Shake. 7 hours before the game.
Oh, God.
We got a picture with him, so there's documented proof.
He had 3 double cheeseburgers.
I was about to say, what did he order?
And we're like, he had just signed that $60 million deal, and I'm like, we fucked up.
Let's just say he didn't have a good game.
No.
All right, so let's move on to linebacker. This should be easy.
The Dome Patrol.
Easy?
No.
This is not easy at all. To me, this is the hardest position.
Okay.
Because we've had a bunch of great ones.
No, here we go. I'm going to go first.
Well, we debated 2 of them.
I've got Ricky Jackson, first and foremost.
Yeah.
I've got DeMario Davis.
That's not your 2. Mills is your 2. He's a Hall of Famer.
Come out. Hold on. Ricky Jackson, DeMario Davis, John Vilma, Sam Mills. That's my 4.
So you left out the only defensive player of the year of the Saints history, and you're talking Apex. He's the only defensive player of the year we've ever had.
Fuck. This is tough.
Well, but look, if that's your call, that's your call.
I'm not knocking any of your picks.
I am not taking Ricky off, and I'm not taking Sam Mills off.
Me neither.
So those 2 are locked in stone. I am putting DeMario Davis and fucking Sam Mills in.
I am too.
So I'm leaving off Pat Swilling. Fuck it.
Awards.
You're going Vilma over Swilling for your last spot.
Yes. Without question.
Apex?
Leadership, all of it.
But
Vilma,
you've got
I'm taking
leadership.
over Swilling.
You got it. You got Sam Mills on your roster.
We're
talking Apex.
I want those 2 in the middle.
And
I want DeMario at weak side. I want Ricky at strong side. And I want Vilma and Mills in the middle. Dude, fuck with that lineup. You can't.
If you're running a 3-4 and you don't want Pat Swilling, Apex Pat Swilling, you're insane. If you're running 3-4.
But it's tough. I know it's tough.
It is.
It's tough.
It really
no,
is.
It's the hardest debate.
It's the hardest spot. Because there's Turnbull there, who was an All-Pro.
But that was like 1 or 2 years.
I get it, but he was an All-Pro. That's hard to do.
His powers, yeah.
I'm not taking him over any of them.
What's crazy is that as good as
Vilma was never All-Pro with us.
It's fine.
I'm just saying.
I'm not taking Turnbull over any of them.
But
I watched Vilma in the Super Bowl year. I'm not taking him.
We're talking Apex.
Awards be what they are. What's crazy about that is that like Turnbull, even at his best, could be number 6 on all of these guys.
I watched Vilma the Super Bowl year. I am not taking Ronaldo Turnbull over him in any way.
No, you can't. You can't.
I wouldn't either. I'm just saying, if we're talking Apex.
But it's perfect, though. Like, as per Roman saying that DeMario slides in better as a weak side, DeMario's a weak side. We got our 2 middles and a 3-4, and then we got our fucking strong side.
If you're talking Apex, if that's the criteria, you can't leave off the best individual season in the history of the Saints.
17 sacks. I know.
Best defensive player in the league.
I'm leaving it off.
You can't.
You can.
Dude, it's tough. I can, and I'm doing it.
Because that's literally what we're doing on this podcast episode.
But that's not Apex, is all I'm saying.
But it is also
compared to. I mean,
I'm not going off of strictly stats. I'm going off of everything else.
DPOY could be
also 4-year All-Pro. 4-year All-Pro though. Let's not say it's a 1-year wonder.
The DPOY of 1 year could arguably be less talented than the 3rd best in DPOY 3 years later.
True.
But
a 4-year string of All-Pros.
I am slotting DeMario at weak. Ricky is strong side. So that leaves me with 2 middles. I'm going Vilma and Mills. I'm not putting
I don't know that I'm really like giving them positions. I just want the best players.
If we're going you have to give them positions because you're not putting 4 outside linebackers.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna put Ricky and Swilling on the outside, and I'm gonna put DeMario and Mills on the inside.
Look,
that's what I'm doing.
You mentioned Al Bundy earlier. You didn't say there couldn't be any Coach Corey in this, okay? So
I love
I think I got 4 guys that can just ball out.
Who you got?
Then I'm going to go with Ricky.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Swilling. And give me Vilma and DeMario.
Yeah.
Give me those 4 guys.
So you're throwing out Mills.
You left out
Sam Mills.
Oh, my God.
I know I did.
Throwing out a Hall of Famer.
I know I did.
I cannot throw out the field mouse. I can't.
I don't.
I will throw Swilling out.
I wish I didn't have to.
Hey, so everybody's different on this one.
That one hurts.
I mean,
I'm taking the 2 pass rushers.
It hurts me. Look, it hurts me to leave out the field mouse.
Guys in the middle.
It does because I love Sam Mills. I love him with a passion, but I'm just.
See, this is great though.
If I can have Vilma and DeMario on the field at the same time with Ricky Jackson and Pat Swilling, holy shit!
See, I think the only debate is: do you want DeMario or do you want Vilma? That's where it comes down to for me.
I want them both.
I want them both.
I went DeMario. I think you're splitting hairs. I can't leave Mills out. He's a Hall of Fame.
But I agree with Max. Is positionally like ideally. You have
DeMario's a good pass rusher.
4-3. You've got Vilma and Mike.
DeMario weak side.
If we're taking 4 linebackers, we're a 3-4.
I know. We're doing 4 linebackers, but I'm just saying, like, ideally, this whole ranking shit aside, if you're running a 4-3 and you've got Vilma and Mike and DeMario at your will, and then I don't even give a shit who it is at your Sam. Goodbye. Like, to whoever's trying to.
It's a great debate. There's no wrong answer, honestly.
Whoever's trying to run against you or pass against you.
I love that we have 3 different opinions on it.
Here's how I'm looking at it. You're running a 3-4. You need 4 linebackers. To me, the outside linebackers have to be able to rush the passer. The 2 best pass rushing linebackers we've ever had.
Ricky and Pat, yeah.
Ricky and Pat, no question.
Yeah.
From there, the best 2 in the middle that you would want, I think that's the debate. Is it DeMario, Vilma, Mills?
If I got to pick 2 Mikes, then I'm going with Vilma and Sam.
Mills is one of them. I just don't know who the other one is.
But if I'm going with the 4 best overall, then
there's no wrong answer. They're all awesome.
I know,
but
it's kind of.
And look, it's a fun debate. It's a fun debate.
Yeah.
That one's tough, man. That one's real tough.
Yeah, I just can't leave.
Well, look, we got 3 different answers. And
Vilma,
there's nothing wrong with any of them.
Vilma wasn't an all-pro here. He was a great guy, great player, great
Nick
leader.
Likes his awards, I'm noticing. Nick likes his all-pros and his.
Well, those are big.
He likes the tangible shit. It's fun.
I don't talk
they matter
that much
for seasons. I get you.
I can look past Pro Bowl. All-pro is legit.
No, all-pro is
legit.
There's never been a fan voting component of that.
Yeah, you got to get the fans out of it.
Yeah, the fans shouldn't vote.
They're all great. I'm not going to knock it. I'll also say the shortest of those careers is Vilma. So for me, if you're talking about Saints apex, he had the shortest career. Those guys had much longer, sustained great careers. I'm taking those 4 instead.
Man, I'm going Vilma Super Bowl year. He was out of his fucking mind. And
that's voting with the Super Bowl, and I get it. It's the only time we won one.
The whole idea of they call it the greatest field general QB ever, Peyton Manning, and then Vilma's counteracting him with audibles on his own.
I mean Vilma's the fucking.
That was like.
But look, it's a great debate. All 3 of us have an argument for our cases, and we went 3 different ways. It's fine.
And we're all right.
Look, we all have a case to be right.
We didn't go that far off. We all had 3 the same.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
All right, so let's slide on to cornerback.
DBs.
So, corner, I'll go ahead and throw out Lattimore already. He already is one of the top 2 corners in Saints history. No question.
He's the best in Saints history by a wide margin.
So, number 2, I'm going to slide over to Nick. What you got?
I don't want to go first on this one.
This one's tough, dude.
Because I want to see who y'all say.
All right, I'm going to start off with there's an argument for Eric Allen.
Yeah.
There's an argument for... Do I throw out Johnny Poe for Nick? No, I'm not. No,
come on,
absolutely
he wasn't any good.
Jesus, Mike McKenzie?
Alex
That's my number 2.
Dude, I think that's
Mike McKenzie's my number 2. Mike McKenzie was a bad dude.
I think I'm
now,
there.
Pika Powers here.
There's one more.
Pika Powers here.
No, I think I'm with Mike McKenzie.
The dude from the Bills we signed.
Wait.
Oh, fuck, Jabari Greer.
That dude was a bad dude for 2 years till he hurt his knee. That dude was a bad dude.
I think McKenzie outshines him.
Now, this is
I take McKenzie.
Very quick blip in time.
Don't say Fred Thomas.
Delvin Breaux.
No.
Get the fuck out of here.
Come on.
Very quick blip in time.
No.
He locked. Look,
No.
there was a time where he locked people down.
No, he did.
There was.
No, he didn't.
Come on.
There was.
No.
But he's not better
He
than
lost
the
his. He lost his fucking light. He was all running around like.
Well, that
this.
was towards the end. But there was a
Oshner
point in
took
time
his
where,
No,
like,
it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Mike McKenzie, Jabari Greer,
I love Jabari Greer.
all were better than Delvin Breaux at any point.
no, I still put.
I'm gonna say
them
one
ahead of
thing,
Delvin.
though.
But I'm saying there was a time when
Don't
Delvin
say
was.
Fred Thomas.
was
Do not say
very
Fred
No,
Thomas.
but we're of a
Tracy
certain
Porter?
generation where we're
No.
not even considering the old time dudes. There's
Don't say Tor Cook.
no. I'm not at all. I'm not saying
See,
anyone in
corner? I thought it
particular.
was safety.
Johnny Pope.
But like we didn't
No,
mention Doug Atkins. He made the Hall of Fame in the NFL. There's players who
Well,
played
we
for
didn't
the
mention
Saints.
him.
Well,
we
could
didn't
Doug
watch him.
Atkins guard
Right,
DeAndre?
that's what I'm saying.
Could he
So,
guard
like-
DeAndre Hopkins?
I don't know the corners from the 70s and 60s is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
In-
So apologies to any boomers out there.
Yeah. Sorry. Like we
Nick's
sucked.
dad, Mike,
Yeah.
calm down.
You don't get an opinion when you don't win any games. So
Yeah.
the 60s and 70s Saints, I'm just
To me,
Discounting.
it's Eric Allen or it's Mike McKenzie.
it's Mike McKenzie. Eric Allen was a good player here. He was on the back end of his career
I
for
think,
sure.
I think it's McKenzie because when he showed up, it was a revelation. I mean, truly. I mean,
Did he make a Pro Bowl with us? I think he did.
I think he did. Yeah, we were in the cornerback wilderness for so long before that Super Bowl year, 06 year included.
We tried so hard.
we tried
kept
so hard,
Alex
like, we just-
Molden, and we just kept drafting. And
I mean,
we
right,
signed the dude from
right.
Indianapolis after he scored that touchdown on us in 2007. What was
Jason
that guy?
David.
Jason David.
Yeah,
God.
who
God,
turned out to be
fuck
so
him.
bad.
Yeah, we kept trying so hard. We
And
never hit
yeah,
on corner.
And McKenzie was just, yeah. There's no words. Like he showed up and just said, "Hold on, I see what's happening here. I got you," and it worked. And then obviously Tracy Porter on the other side helped, and it worked. And it worked.
Porter's career here, pretty great.
Porter's
Never a great player.
Porter's always in the echelon because of exactly what he did in the Super
Well,
Bowl.
those and the championship game.
That's what I mean. Like you
Well, he
can
made one
never,
play.
He
you can
picked
never
off
take that
Favre.
away.
He picked off Peyton.
Porter made a
mean-
lot more than one play in his career. Porter was always there. Now,
Yeah,
like
but that 1 year.
I'm not
was
saying
pretty,
look, I'm not saying he didn't get beat or that he didn't have bad plays, but I think Tracy was a serviceable, solid cornerback. If he wasn't a solid cornerback, we wouldn't have ended up in the Super Bowl.
The
So,
only other,
McKenzie, no Pro Bowls, no All Pros.
yeah, I know he didn't make All Pro. I thought he made a Pro Bowl with us. Oh well, all right. Well, the only other debate,
Eric Allen.
and well, there's one more, but
Who?
I don't view him as a corner, but he was drafted as a corner, I believe, is Dave Waymer.
Oh,
I think he was drafted as a corner, but for me, he's a safety for the Saints, and that'll transition into safety. He's one of my two.
But that'll make your dad happy.
I'm going Sam Knight and Dave Waymer at safety.
Well, time out. On Eric Allen. So Eric Allen was 6-time Pro Bowl.
Not with us.
3-time.
Not with us.
All
I mean,
Pro.
he's an
Hold on,
Eagle.
I'm looking.
Philadelphia.
He's an Eagle.
Philadelphia.
Shout out to the Big Cap.
He's a Hall of Famer. He wasn't a Hall of Fame.
1-time Pro Bowler with us. So
He did make a Pro Bowl? Okay. Well, that I didn't even know he made a Pro Bowl.
All right, so we're on safety. So Sammy Knight, without question, is 1.
For me, it's Dave Waymer. I'm calling him a safety. If you don't call him a safety, then he's our second corner. He's got like 50 career interceptions, dude.
All right, so here's the question. Here's the big question. And this is the one that's going to be the most controversial. So we're saying Apex Mountain. Mm-hmm. Or are we going off of one season? Because
You're
if
trying
we
to say
are-
Darren
Apex-
Sharper.
Wait, best season with us.
Sharper is
But
going
no,
under.
he doesn't beat Dave Waymer as a Saint. No
The
way.
fuck he do- No, the one. But that's my point. The one season, because that one season with the 9 interceptions and like 200 and almost 300 yards returned.
Even with us, that season was incredible, but he wasn't great.
What?
He was a turnover machine.
It was instrumental in the Super Bowl. win.
Yeah, no question. We led the league in turnovers forced. I get
Yeah.
it. We also were a terrible pass defense.
That's fine though. But if we're going off of the high point, the apex, fuck Sharper's got to be there, dude. Sharper and Sammy Knight.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not putting Dave Waymer ahead of him. There's no way. 9. Okay, you want to hear it?
9 interceptions, 3 touchdowns, 300 yards
It's
returns.
insane, dude.
I
It is
know.
insane.
I remember. What was Waymer's best season?
give me a second. So Sharper, we have 2009.
11 total
interceptions.
turnovers.
You ready for this?
11 total turnovers.
376 yards in returns.
I just said that.
3 touchdowns.
I just said it.
I know, but that's long of 99.
Yeah, I remember.
I mean, that is...
It was incredible.
So,
I'm not downgrading it at all. I loved it. It was amazing. Turns out he's a bad dude. Whatever.
I think
Look up Waymer's best year. I don't know what it
I am.
is. I have no clue.
when I think of like
Sammy Knight's best year might be better than that year, though. Didn't he have a 9?
I think
Dave Waymer,
Sammy's number 1. I think.
4, 4, 6, 9 for 48. 5, 3, 6, 7, 4. So 48
That's
total.
insane.
No, it is. But
Read that
Sharper's-
back again over a 7-8 year span. That's insane.
Sharper's better.
In 1 year, I agree.
Sharper's better overall.
No. Not as a Saint.
Okay.
Not as a Saint.
Oh, it's a Saint. Okay, so it's a...
Career, yes. I agree.
Okay, so
I agree with
Waymer,
you.
rookie year, 0. Second year, 4. Third year, 0. Fourth year, 0. Fifth year, 0. Sixth year, 4. Then 6. Then 9. Then 5. Then 3. Then 6. Then 7. Then the 49ers after that. I'm sorry, 7 was with Niners.
What's his career interception?
With Saints, 9, 14.
40, right?
23, 29, 33, 37 with the Saints.
37. That's a tough one.
That's just interception.
Because Sharper was literally 1 year because he sucked the next year.
Well,
He was great.
look,
in that
I'll be
role.
honest.
played for us for 2 years.
When I think
Two.
about picking
That's what I'm
two-
saying.
Two
That's
guys.
a tough one.
He's 60.
I think of like a bubble.
And he was awful the next year.
Think about a bubble of like
Versus
3 to
last year, he
5.
had 0.
I'm having a hard time keeping Roman out of our bubble of 3 to 5.
Well, if you're going to do that, you got to do Malcolm. You go.
I'm taking Roman over Malcolm.
I mean, because
Career-
if we're talking Pika powers and like, I'm
Thinking
thinking
8 sacks 1 year.
when Roman was at
We're
his
talking
best.
about sacks
Look, and
for
I know,
safety.
look, I know we had him on the on the pod and he's a friend, but like before I even knew the guy, like I mean, when he was at his best, he was a fucking missile.
but
like,
at his
just-
best, he was a linebacker essentially.
But if you
and I loved it.
but
Like,
if you
don't get me
have
wrong,
that
it was
as a
incredible.
Safety, you know,
What's his career interception?
as a strong safety, I don't know, but I don't know that I'm judging his
11.
worth based on interception numbers. It's just like
I'm not judging his worth. I'm judging his safety.
his
18
position,
Yeah.
his position on this chart that we're doing.
He had 7.5
you know?
sacks that 1 year.
I can't put him above Malcolm. I can't put him above Dave Waymer.
I can put him above Malcolm.
I can too.
What's Malcolm's stats with us? Let's look that up.
I think honestly the hardest decision is between Roman and Sharper.
I don't think
I think Sammy Knight's number 1.
if you're talking Apex, that one's not close.
Yeah, it's Sharper.
Yeah. All right.
Malcolm, 3, 4, 6, 9, 10 interceptions with the Saints.
That's it. Wow.
Malcolm had probably more pick sixes than Roman.
2, 4.5, 8 sacks with the Saints. Roman had more sacks in one season than Malcolm had in his career with the Saints.
Yeah, I mean, sacks isn't a stat I look at for safety.
No, but it was the way Greg Williams used
that
it.
1 year,
Yeah,
and
it
I
was
told
amazing.
you that's how Roman should have been used his whole career
Should have
because, like, Roman in that role was exceptional.
Badass. Yeah.
He's a beast.
And he had such a knack for being able to blitz. He was so good at it. I wish we would have kept doing that with him. We
Right.
didn't.
If we're going Apex, I'm going Sammy Knight and Darren Sharper.
If it's Apex, you have to put Sharper there. I
have to
think
put Sharper.
it's
have
for the 1
Yeah.
year. I think Dave Waymer's career with the Saints is a much more impressive Saints career.
I think he's more a corner though, bro.
He wasn't when he was getting all those years with 0. That's his corner years. We switched him to safety like his 3rd year.
Yeah.
He was a safety for us.
Mean Gene Atkins.
I love Gene Atkins.
Gotta love Gene Atkins.
What are
Boy
his
doesn't know what
stats?
that is,
I don't
but
even know what his stats are. I love him, but
They're not much. He would knock the fuck out of you though.
but he was a Roman Harper type. So would Roman. Roman
Right.
would
he was
fucking
he was
Exactly.
Roman before Roman was Roman.
yeah.
Yeah,
I love
makes
that
sense.
type player. They're awesome to watch.
All right, so kicker. This one should be easy.
Yeah, it's
Morton.
Morton Anderson.
Okay. Punter. This one's easy.
It's easy too. More stats.
Morse.
Yeah. Kick
Bar-
returner's not easy.
Barnhart, honorable mention.
No.
All right.
No.
Now, before we talk about kick returner, we have to make a point that we have kick returner and punt returner per Max's rules.
Correct.
So
Time out though, real quick. Gene Atkins 25 career interceptions.
Yeah.
Jesus.
He was a better player than people think.
So
Maybe
21 of those with the Saints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gene Atkins, safety too.
He was a good player, dude.
maybe
He's a third safety.
Maybe we have to amend.
I'm telling you, that dude was better than people think.
15 career forced fumbles.
So was Dave Waymer. I don't feel we're giving credit to Dave Waymer. That
14
dude was a
fumble
great player.
recovery.
Are
Gene
you
Atkins,
kidding?
dude.
Wait, hold on. Do you have a deal that we don't know about saying the name Dave Waymer?
No, I just
Because I think
love him.
you've said the name Dave
Dave
Waymer.
Waymer's good.
What's his career interception total? Isn't it almost 50? That's hard to do, man.
Well,
Is it 49?
It was 48, I think. Let me double
48.
check.
There's like less than 30 people ever have done that.
Dave Waymer, 48. Yeah,
Olympians included.
Yeah. That's hard to do. That's a good football player, dude. That's all I can tell
He
you.
had 48. Sharper had 63.
I know. Sharper was
Shit. Well,
career.
insane.
I'm all on Sharper, but with the Saints, he was terrible
played
for a
2
year
years.
and great for a year.
Yeah.
Rod Woodson was
He's in his he's got 60 plus,
about like 68.
Yeah.
Something
But
like
there's
that.
Paul Krause with his 81.
Yeah,
Which is the most
Night
insane
Train
thing
Lane has 60 something.
I think we brought this up. Was it like episode 2 or 3, something like that? I'm not gonna look it up now. But anyway, all right.
All right, so on to what are we on? Kick returner. To me, kick returner to Beer Man or Mel Gray.
For me, it's Mel Gray and Mel Gray.
Tyrone Hughes is the punt returner.
I'm going Mel Gray.
You going for both?
Yeah, I love Tyrone Hughes. How have we had so many great returners?
It's
That's what's
crazy,
crazy.
huh?
But Mel Gray, I think people. I want to say he was 4-time All Pro.
I think he was, but then he went to Detroit.
Yeah, and he
Kept
didn't
going.
make All Pro there, but he was still good.
Tyrone Hughes for punts, bro.
I love Tyrone Hughes,
For
but
punts, come
Mel
on.
Gray was so good.
Mel was more kicks for me. But I'm going, fuck.
I bet you
know
Mel
it's
Gray had more punt return
It's
yards
Mel
than.
Gray, dude.
Huh?
It's Mel Gray for kicks. It's Tyrone for punts.
We forget Mel Gray because he was 80s, I think. 80s, early 90s.
We remember him. Corey's like Michael Lewis.
Mel Gray's the best
No,
returner
no,
in
it's
Saints
tough.
history, period. I'm going both. You can make a case for all those guys. I'm not going to argue with
Give me Mel
Mike-
Gray and Tyrone Hughes.
Tyrone Hughes also made All Pro, right?
Yeah,
I
give me
think
both
so.
of them. Those
But
are
I
the
think
two.
Mel Gray made 4 straight All Pros. That's ridiculous.
all right. So
What you got? You're going to say Beerman and
look,
Deontay Harris.
Beerman and Tyrone Hughes are certainly
Corey's like, Deontay Harris.
no
For a
God,
year,
no.
Deontay Harris was All Pro. He was All Pro.
You know
Yeah.
who was really good at kick returning
if you're going Apex and you made an All Pro, there's a case to be made.
for who was
Tyrone
really
had
good
like
at kick
4
returning for maybe
punt
like
returns a year, bro.
for
I
maybe
know.
like
I
half
love
a
Tyrone.
season was Courtney Roby.
What?
Who? Corey Roby?
Courtney Roby,
No.
No, he didn't return
Stop
kicks,
it.
bro. He covered them.
number 15.
He covered them. He didn't return them.
He did return. He was on
He
return
returned.
team.
No, he's fucking fast as shit. He like knocked out a referee on the sideline one time.
If he returned them, it was
He
because
was
of
never
injury.
one of the best, but he did return kicks.
There,
for
he had a
bit.
flash in the pan, but that's kind of more of like a fun suggestion.
Okay,
But
so this is going to be the most fun category.
anyway, but hold on.
wild card.
I'm going with, but my 2 picks are Beerman for kicks, Tyrone for punts.
Okay, so now we move on to the wild card. This is
Mel
the fun
Gray,
one.
by the way, everybody. Mel Gray.
Don't forget.
The wild card
Look him
pick. The player you want on your team.
Nick curated his
whether it
Wikipedia
is
page.
offense, defense, special teams, whatever.
The wild card.
You just want to have this fucking guy on your team.
So this is tough because I left Vilma off of my linebackers, so he would probably be in this conversation. But I think I'm going to go with Kyle Turley.
Kyle Turley.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because if I could have a dude who's a mean ass that you just have on the team that just instigates everying,
so
like a wild card,
You're
that's
telling
the guy.
me that you, the stat man, the award man, the all pro man, is just, you're using the wild card to throw all that out the window. Which I'm not knocking it.
Did
But
he
I'm
make
not-
a?
No,
did,
that's fine. It's a good call.
did
I'm
he
not
make a
knocking
Pro
it.
Bowl?
It's a good call.
I don't know.
I'm just
No,
saying
that's
that
fine.
like that's a good use of the wild card because like you've
Nick
got
values, helmet
you've
tosses.
got your guy.
Dude, he could chuck a helmet.
He could
But
chuck a helmet.
I remember being at that game
Corey.
and seeing the whole scuffle and then seeing like, wait, okay, Turley obviously in the scuffle. I was
let's
like,
not
does
act
have
like
a-
he wasn't a really fucking good
was
player.
awesome.
He was
either.
very good.
Yeah.
He was very good. But then I
He
remember
will
like
forever be the person we picked over Randy Moss.
at first I thought he had a head in his hand, and then the helmet.
One of
I was
the best games I've
I
ever
was like,
been
well,
to.
Surely he didn't decapitate somebody, and then I was like, that's not a Saints helmet.
Who's your guy?
I'm going Reggie. I mean,
Final
I think,
answer?
yeah, because you plug him into, I didn't put him on my running backs squad, but I think you plug Reggie into like a lot of our lineups, it changes things.
All right, so
I'm not going to knock it. I just looked it up. Turley was first team All-Pro in 2000.
Yeah, he was good.
First team All-Pro.
He was good.
Turley, Reggie, I'm going with Taysom Hill. I want him because he can play every fucking position.
That's the end of the 28-3 podcast. For
No, man, I'm going with Taysom. Dude,
That would be
Taysom's
fitting because like the last episode, it was like you're gonna die on that hill, and he's gonna die on a different
Well, no,
hill.
I'm gonna make this statement.
But
and Nick,
look,
come
I'm
on.
not gonna knock it.
Nick will back me up on this.
Nickelback.
If
Say
Taysom
Nickelback?
had never been pushed as a quarterback, he would probably be in our top 3 favorite Saints ever. If they never tried to force him as a quarterback.
I'm gonna
Even
add a
if he
caveat to
showed
that.
up with like a 87 jersey instead of a 7
and
jersey.
we never paid him like a fucking quarterback.
Well, allegedly paid.
Agreed.
He still's got a lot of
No, he's
voidable-
getting paid too much. Agreed.
He made 10 plus.
He's making 10
and
plus.
he's not a 10 plus. I
But
love
Nick,
Taysom Hill.
if he did not get overpaid and he's wearing number 87, is he not one of your fucking 3 favorite Saints players ever?
I love him.
Oh, he's like
I regret how we've used him.
But he's an animal at every position.
As a receiver, he's so limited, and I feel like
To me, it's throw him a screen and let him just.
yes, I agree 100%.
I guess I
with
hadn't
that.
thought about it the way Max just laid it out. Like
I love him, and he's a
plays
matchup
everywhere.
nightmare.
Everywhere.
I wish he could truly catch and not just catch the
with you.
shit that's super easy. If he could do that, that guy would have made Pro Bowls for years.
yeah. Well, like I'm saying, like I completely understand the idea that
Look
he's
what he has in
everywhere.
special teams.
That he's everywhere.
Block punts.
But the way Max just laid it out is
It's a wild card.
maybe it's
Every
obvious
position.
to some people, but like the idea of him
Everywhere.
showing up. No, it's the genesis of it for as what you just described. Like if he had never even been labeled a quarterback, if he just showed up to us as a top BYU recruit tight end,
But let's
top
be
BYU
honest,
recruit wide receiver,
that's partly
and
him.
and he showed. No, it is. I'm not saying
Because
I'm
he
not-
said, I
look,
want to be a quarterback.
I'm not placing blame. I'm just saying
the
that
Tebow
if,
mentality.
if the player that is Taysom Hill showed up to the Saints or even got claimed off waivers by the Saints as a WR/TE and he wore 80 or wore an 80's number and still did everything he did,
We'd love him.
you're right. He would be
One of our favorite
Like-
Saints ever.
second to Gleason.
We would talk
He'd
about
be
him
like a
like you and I
Gleason
talk
guy.
about McCleskey.
Why, when we were injured at running back, was
It's
he
just the
not
QB
running
makes him
back
different.
plays? Why is he not a backup running back too?
He is, but the
guy's
problem
like
is
the
we
thumper.
focus on
Yeah.
him playing quarterback. And
But
we get mad
last year
about
he
it.
was
As
he
we
was
should.
he was that emergency
And Peyton,
QB.
for all his greatness, thought the guy could be a quarterback. That guy is not a quarterback.
Sean Payton made the grave mistake of saying this is the next Steve Young.
Yes.
7 years
God.
ago, whatever it was. That forever changed the perception of Taysom Hill and fucked up our viewpoint of him
Yeah.
going forward.
It is
If he never
worse.
says that and he never is the primary quarterback competing for the job, we all fucking love him as one of our favorite players
If
ever.
Peyton was like, this is
He
what
is the J.J. McCluskey of the fucking new millennium.
That Peyton as a commentator this year, and Taysom had his monster one game of the season that he had, and he's like, "You don't want him? I'll take him." And it's like, dude,
Shut up.
it's 1 in
Right.
17. Like, dude,
That's
yes,
fine. Trade for him.
I love him, but
You know,
being paid as a 8-figure guy doesn't make a lot of sense.
Taysom
You know what, though?
in
It's like
reality,
you can't
Taysom
hold
in
that
reality is
against
kind of
him,
like
dude.
I don't. As a player, I don't hold it against him. I hold it against the Saints.
he is to the
He is a
pros what
great
what
player.
Florida college fans thought Tebow should have been in the pros.
He is, yeah.
Tebow could have been.
He could have been.
Tebow
He
could have
could've
done this.
that. Yeah, easy.
I still think Taysom's more athletic, faster.
He's faster.
He's faster.
Sleener.
He ain't more.
I said
Tebow's
Sleener, but
not.
like,
Tebow's every
slimmer,
bit of
leaner.
a brute.
And
as
Tebow's
Taysom.
every bit bigger and
But
stronger.
like,
and
I can tell you, I would bet Tebow is a better natural receiver as a tight end than
Agreed.
Taysom.
strikes me as having block hands, but
I'm taking
I
Tebow
don't know,
over
man.
Taysom.
I think Tebow missed a big
certainly
opportunity
catches-
not signing up for a Taysom role.
he certainly
He could've
catches
been-
for life ads
He
pretty
could
good.
have been Cordell Stewart. He could have been a
but-
slash.
Yeah.
Tebow was such a
Anyway,
beast.
so let's
All right.
wrap it up.
My wild card's Reggie.
We're wrapping it up. So Corey says Reggie. Nick said Kyle Turley. I've got Taysom Hill. That's going to wrap us up for this episode.
And if you're hanging with us this long, just like DM us on Twitter and tell us what you think. I mean, because we're at an hour 10.
Yeah.
So
that's going to wrap us up for this episode. We're checking out. We'll catch you guys next time. Thanks, guys.
Boom.